A lot of people are job hunting at the moment, and writing case studies can be very overwhelming. In this video, I will guide you through how to create a great UX case study along with tips to help you create a portfolio that will get you the job. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chili and I'm a senior UX product designer based in London. I have been slacking in uploading consistently recently, and if you follow me on Twitter, you will know that I have been job hunting. Yes, I have also been hit by these tech layoffs. A lot of people have also been going through this, and I thought this would be a useful topic to cover. In the past few weeks, I've been working on my portfolio, updating case studies, and talking to a lot of recruiters. With a lot of layoffs at the moment, hiring freezes, there is a lot of competition out there and not many jobs. You want to make sure you structure your portfolio as well as you can to be competitive. So, what is a case study? A case study is a story of your project. You're going to go through why you did the project, how you tackled the problems, and what goals you achieved. You are taking the reader through the journey. It's a chance for you to show off your design thinking skills. Writing a good case study can be tricky as the UX process is very complex, so I'll be walking you through how I outline my case studies. I've also been part of interviewing teams when hiring other designers, so this is also some insider knowledge for what companies are looking for when hiring. I will link my template in the description below. There is no one size fits all for writing a case study, as every project is different, and sometimes you might only be involved in part of the project and not the whole project. So the structure I'm going to be walking you through is just a guide for good practice. Alter it where you see fit. The main structure of an end-to-end UX case study is outlining how you went through each stage of the UX design process in your project. This diagram shows a high-level UX design process. I have a video that goes through this process in depth, which I will link up there and in the link below. I'm going to walk you through how to outline a case study, and then after that I will show you an example project. I like to use Figma because you can write your case study and also you can bring in the images that you need. Let me walk you through the structure. Start with your intro, the title, add your role, what you did in it. It could just be UX and UI or just UI. A timeline is also very helpful. This is because we can see how long it took you to do this project, and also it puts a date on it. The project I'm going to show you was done in like 2016, so it shows that those designs are of their time. And not that I like to use iPhone 6s or whatever was out at the time. You want to start with the context, short explanation outlining the background of your project. So you can talk about why the project is important to your company, what the product is, and who are your users. So just a brief outline. And then next you're going to go into the problem statement. And this is the problem you're trying to solve and why it's important to solve it in relation to your company. Next, you're going to look at your goals. After looking at the problem statement, what are the goals you're trying to achieve? What's the main problem you're trying to solve? Next, you're going to outline your business opportunities, how solving this problem aligns with the wider business goals. So this is like client retention, attracting new clients, or saving costs, or any other opportunities that align to your project. It would be good here to add an image of an old design if you are redesigning. If you're not, that's okay. And remember, this is just a template and outline. You don't have to follow these exactly. Depending on your project, sometimes the research might come before you find the problem statement. You can move these around as you see fit. Next, it would be good to do some research. This is any research you've gathered to validate the problem and to get to the root core of the problem. If we look at quantitative research, that's any data that you've gathered of users who come to your product or your website, what do they do on there, or any survey results. And then you're going to do some qualitative research. And remember, this is not in a specific order. You can do a little bit of this and then that and jump back and forth if you need to. So journey map, user feedback, or you can look at complaints, user interviews that you've conducted, personas that you've created, and any usability test. And when you write out your usability test, it's also good to go into details of what you did in that usability test. I've got a video that explains really easily how to run a usability test. I will link that up there and in the description below. It's also good to highlight any quotes that reflect recurring themes that you're finding in your research. Next, you're gonna do a hypothesis. So based on your research and your goals, what do you think will solve this problem? And what design changes you think might lead you to solve these problems? And then from your hypothesis, you're gonna do your concepts, so your wireframe or initial designs. It's also good to annotate to show exactly where in the designs you think will drive the most change, and any information architecture or user flow, like changes that you're making to the user flows. Then you're probably going to do another usability test of the wireframes or mid-fidelity designs. to see if they are leading you to reach the goal that you had in your hypothesis. And then you're going to have your final designs, and if you are adding to the design system work or components that you have designed. A good thing to have at the end of your case study, which I don't see very often, is the design impacts. Data that shows how your designs performed after launch. Did you reach the goals? What worked well? What you could improve? And any future business opportunities. And now that I've shown you that, let me show you how that works in real life. This was one of my first case studies I did when I first became a product designer. So this is a real project that I did, but obviously this was back in like 2016. That is why the designs look like that. So I chose this because it has a very simple narrative to it. And I still use this structure for my case studies today. So it doesn't matter if you're junior or senior, this structure can work for anyone. You want to start with your title, and here I've got the feed redesign for this app called the Next Set. And in terms of context, I talk about how this is a social commerce app that was launched by Net-a-Porter, which is a luxury e-commerce website. And they launched this social e-commerce to mix social media and shopping. So they were trying to be Instagram and online shopping all at the same time. I then outlined the problem statement, which is a lot of our users don't go beyond our feed. I then go into the challenge, and the challenge is to redesign the feed, creating an engaging experience while increasing business opportunities. So the brief is to create a solution that offers users value to make them want to go on into our feed. And this also offers the brands that we worked with value because more people are seeing their stuff, and the wider business because we're trying to drive more sales. So working towards a personalized experience for the user, create visibility for sponsored content, and along with brands and products, and create monetizing opportunities. The main one is to keep users engaged, because we cannot do any of this if the users are not engaged. Then on here, I've talked about business opportunity, and I talk about what we offer the users, the style inspiration, shoppable content, what we offer the brand, access to users, trend insights, reviews from the users, and also what we offer to Net-a-Porter, which is the wider brand that owns the app. And that is insights to trend, customer acquisition, and tech innovation, because we were a new app. Next, I'll be looking at the goals. These are the goals which I've talked about in the problem statement. You don't have to repeat yourself like I did here. Next is research and understanding. I did a workshop with different members of our team to make sure that everyone has a shared understanding of what the main problem is and how we can tackle it. I've put some images here from the workshop. We created an inventory of all the features that we have and how they benefit the users, the brands, and the wider business. So as part of research and understanding, I've done quite a few things here. Next is competitive benchmarking. How does our app compete against what else is out there at the moment? We still have Instagram, Polyvore, I'm not sure if that's still out. Grabble was quite fun because it gave like a Tinder-like experience where you swipe left and right, very gamified, of products that they think are good for you. And there was List, which was helping you discover new trends. I went into depth on the different values each app had, and I scored them. Here I did a summary of the review of the competitor benchmarking and how the net set compares to the other brands. Next, I looked at the data of what the users did when they came into the app. So looking at over 100,000 opens, what did they do? 34% stayed on browse. Some went to explore, which is the place we want them to go, so not many. And in explore, what did they do? A few looked at the editorial, which is great. Not many looked at our style council, hot right now pieces. Not many were looking at what's new, and barely anyone was looking at shopping categories. So we want to improve those stats. Next, I looked at user journey. So the steps each user has to take to get to the different features that we want them to access. Style tribe, there's quite a lot of steps for them to get there. Or style council. Discover was quite simple, but it's still as many steps to go through. So we realized that there's a lot of clicking to get to the features that we want them to get to. After all that research, we now have our hypothesis, which is by bringing some of these features to the feed, the users will be more engaged with a variety of content and increasing their engagement time. And it will also make our interface unique. Right now, it was very similar to what Instagram looked like, so we wanted to stand out a little bit. Here are some of the design concepts where the feed, instead of picture after picture, we are bringing some interaction. You can see some of the style tribes directly on your feed and what's new, and introducing fresh layouts. I then tested this with some NetSet users using mid-fidelity designs, and the feedback was quite good. A lot of them really liked the new designs. That tells us that the designs are successful. Then we have our final design. So this is what it looks like. You can scroll, and instead of just seeing one picture after another, it's showing you different grids of more products to engage with. Next, we have the results, the impact. After launching the app, we left it for 30 days and then looked at the engagement afterwards. The average browse time went up, even though people still stayed in browse, which is what we wanted them to do. But because we had all these features in the browse section, they were engaging with it a lot more directly. So yeah, that is the outline of that case study. As you can see, the order which I've done these are different to the overview, which are shown at the top. You can mix that order around to best suit the narrative and the story that you're trying to tell. When you're first starting out in your career, I think it's very important to really put in a lot of effort into the UI of your work. As you can see, the way I've surfaced all the different data points, even the way I've drawn my user journeys and my competitor benchmarking table. I personally believe that showing off your UI skills, even with a lack of experience, you can still be competitive in the job market. I have a couple of videos with tips to help you improve UI. As I mentioned, this will be linked below. If you have found this useful, please help me out by hitting the like button. A great case study doesn't have to be a long one. Keep it concise and to the point. And you don't have to use every UX tool under the sun. A good UX designer will know when to do a card sorting workshop or when to conduct a survey. It will take time for you to learn this. The more you gain understanding on each UX tool, the more you will understand what is right for your project. During your job hunt, it is also very important to not be hard on yourself. I have tons of experience from big companies, and I too still get rejections, so look after yourself and don't burn yourself out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.